So, Kathleen Kennedy has been in the news. We've got two stories to cover when it comes to Kathleen Kennedy, the great Kathleen Kennedy, the great witch of Star Wars. So there's this one, which isn't really the main one I want to cover, but we will look at it as well because it is funny. Kathleen Kennedy lobbies for Bob Iger to receive an honorary Oscar. Why? You're shit. Both of you are shit. It's just self-congratulatory shit sandwiches all round. What are you doing? So there's that, which we'll get to. And then there's this one. Kathleen Kennedy says Star Wars stories no longer need to connect to the originals, which I've said in a video I did it myself. I don't actually disagree with this statement. I don't think all of it needs to be interconnected. I do think you could just go off into the future and just tell a story, in space, far, far away with a Jedi, just of some description. Like, that's fine. I don't really see the issue with that. Do I trust her to lead it, though? No, obviously not. That would be dumb, wouldn't it? So, yeah, let's take a look at this first. Just on face value, this is nonsense, isn't it, really? Mr. Iger here. Why would he be able to get an Oscar? Like, what an absolute joke. Further falling into obscurity, the Oscars and irrelevancy. They're like, yeah, we'll just give Bob Iger an Oscar. No, mate. I seen actually today, believe it or not, just before coming here, is that there's something about Tom Cruise getting some kind of honorary Oscar recognition for something, and it's like, yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. Tom Cruise to get something like that. Yeah, sure. Bob Iger? No. So a new insider report suggests that Lucasfilm head Kathleen Kennedy is spending her remaining influence lobbying for Disney CEO Bob Iger to receive an honorary Oscar, just as the Academy negotiates its broadcast deal with Disney-owned ABC. Oh, that sounds an awful lot like a, I'll scratch your back and you scratch my back situation, doesn't it, quite frankly? So, according to Variety, Kennedy has been actively reaching out to the Academy board members, encouraging them to support Iger for one of this year's prestigious honorary awards, which are traditionally presented at the Governor's Awards in November. Sources say Kennedy has used recent membership meetings to personally pitch Iger's contributions to the film industry. What? A whole bunch of absolute shit that is overpriced and has cost Disney hundreds of millions of dollars in failure. Oh, what a great contribution to the film industry. Amazing. All of those boxes ticked. Great times. Which include Disney's multi-billion-dollar acquisitions. Oh, wait. Are we just saying that he used board members' money to buy stuff? Is that the contribution to the film industry? Are you joking? Is this where we're at with this? Unbelievable. So apparently Kennedy believes Iger deserves an Oscar because he bought a whole bunch of expensive properties, basically. Well, that's retardation on every level, but okay. The Oscars literally are meaningless now. They are a joke. I remember at one point when they did mean something. They weren't always this sort of irrelevant thing. Like, people did watch them. People thought they were relevant. People, they I don't know, some of the films, it made sense. You'd watch a film, you go, oh yeah, that makes sense that it's an Oscar winner. Yeah. And now you're like, who? What film? Huh? No idea. So there's that. So what thoughts, culture? What do you reckon of this, mate? You are muted as well, by the way.
Well, first and foremost, the reason that this is being done is because Michael Eisner didn't get an Oscar. This would give Mr. Buy and Destroy a chance to have one and have one up on Michael Eisner, who was a more successful CEO for Disney. He didn't go and gut, films, television, theme parks in order to get accolades through virtue signaling. There's just a difference between two men. That's the only thing I could think of. I mean, and what little influence that Kathleen Kennedy has is kind of a joke now, in my opinion. But hey, it's just my opinion. That's the only thing I can think of. I can't think of any other. I can't think of any other reason that he would want one or need one, and I can't think of any other reason for her to suggest that. As you mentioned, Tom Cruise makes sense. An honorary Oscar for basically, lifting film back up to where it needed to be post COVID. That's just one of the many reasons. I mean, unless you're, in love with the idea of Scientology, and want to give him an award for, praising that across the globe. I doubt anybody would want to do that. But regardless, I feel like that is that's the only reason that they would do that. And I don't know. I mean, what leverage does Kathleen Kennedy have anymore in Hollywood? She's also contributed to the destruction of the most a property I thought would never be capable of failure. So I mean, and then she followed that up with destroying the Willow film by trying to add on to that, and then destroyed Indiana Jones beyond where I thought that the Crystal Skulls could push it. So I'm still one of the people who says Indiana Jones is the greatest trilogy ever. And other than that, she destroys everything she touches. If you ask her to do anything beside setting up a location shoot and making sure all the equipment and stuff is there, and you ask her to do anything beyond a cup of coffee, she's likely to fail you. So still don't understand the praise. I don't get it.
Yeah, Kathleen Kennedy, you aren't great. Everything she touches does turn to crap. And is it me? Or have you ever heard of an honorary Oscar before? I've never even heard of that before. I think I've heard of a Lifetime Achievement Award, but honorary Oscars, is that a thing now? I've not heard of that before.
Well, Disney...
Not that I've followed the Oscars all that closely in the last few years, but yeah, all award ceremonies are bullshit. All of them.
Yeah, Disney collectively added to their Oscar collection because of the first animated film that was a feature length, Snow White. You may have heard of that one. That got a bunch of little figurine Oscars. It's kind of cute. But outside of that, I don't know who's had an honorary Oscar. I don't recall them.
Okay. Someone in the chat says it's been a thing for a while. Fair enough. I just haven't heard of it before. Again, not that I haven't actually watched an Oscar ceremony for well over 10 years. Yeah, when I was a kid, like 30 years ago or more, people actually did sort of care about it. And even in Britain, people would stay up late to watch it. But now it's just a shadow of a parody of a sham. It's nonsense. And I mean, and let's be honest, completely honest, all award ceremonies are just an exercise in fart huffing. And I don't need it in my life. I don't want it. I wouldn't care if there was never another Oscar award ceremony in my life. That'd be fine by me. Yeah, and to throw insult on top of injury, Bob Iger. Really? Right, yeah, okay, Tom Cruise, someone like Tom Cruise, okay, like an actual icon. Like truly has worked extremely hard and been successful at what he's attempted to do. Okay. Right? But Bob Iger. Yeah, Nate, you say, what has he actually done? Oh, he's spent loads and loads of money on shit. Oh, right. Oh, okay. That deserves recognition, does it? Now, what this is, again, this is an extended exercise in back patting each other's friends. Yeah, it's like, can we get our boss an accolade? It's gross. It's gross, but played out in front of the whole world. And the whole world's supposed to just, like mindless seals, clap along to it. Oh, yeah, Bob Iger deserves to be awarded. Yeah. Fuck him.
Can I just mention that this all speaks to the fact that, as you mentioned at the top of the segment, Nate, the fact that this doesn't resonate, nor will it hit well, nor will anybody pay attention to this, is the fact that we now discount all of the award shows and pay no attention, nor do we care, and the audiences have been dwindling for a while, with rare exception. So, yeah, I mean, this is like watching women's basketball at this point.
I mean,
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
perhaps I've got a particularly strong view about it, because I honestly do think kind of all awards and accolades are hollow. Like, I didn't go to either of my degree ceremonies. There's like a dinner where you're supposed to go black tie, and there's like a dinner, you know, and you get awarded the bit of paper that you get the degree. If you don't go, it doesn't mean anything. They still send it to you in the post. You can still claim it on your CV. You still did it. You still have the degree, but you're sort of supposed to go to this honorary dinner and the day where you go up on stage and people clap you and stuff. I didn't bother going to either of mine. I'm not interested in that. That's nonsense. That's hollow bullshit. I don't need anyone's. I don't need to be clapped on stage and have a bit of paper, right? That's that's just nonsense to me. So, I mean, when you dial it up to levels of pure insanity, like the Grammys or the Oscars, it's actually a bit sickening to me that you've got millionaires giving other millionaires a golden award for saying some lines that somebody else wrote. Come on, it's absurd. It's disgusting, actually.
It's not just that either. The Oscar ceremony gives out little goodie bags, and sometimes I think the goodie bags are like $100,000 each.
Oh,
or something like that.
They're way over that now. Some of those, they reached up to like, I don't remember what year it was, but it was like tapping over 300,000 that they were walking out the door with in value. Yeah, it's been insane. And again, I mean, the awards are bought and paid for. We know that. We know who the Oscar baiter and the master Oscar baiter, who's actually in prison and was found guilty again in a recent retrial verdict. But that guy was the major campaigner for the Academy Awards for, at least a decade. I mean, that's why all those ladies were fine with him, escorting ladies to his hotel room on the regular. So.
Right, yeah. So on top of everything else, it's a fix. On top of everything else, it's a swizz and a phony. What's
the point of it? It's just so lame, isn't it? Just so lame.
Like, how much is enough? You're already one of the most famous people in the world. You're a Hollywood actor or whatever. You're a Hollywood star. You're in the top 0.0001% of most famous and rich people. That's not enough. You need an award ceremony where you get given hundreds of thousands of pounds more and a little golden statue, and everyone claps you, and they put TV cameras on you. Like, it's revolting. These people.
Don't forget what they normally spend their speeches lecturing everyone about as well. Normally, they spend their whole acceptance speech lecturing the plebs. Like, I believe in this and blah blah blah. So you don't think, you don't believe anything. You're a vacuous hole of a human. Shut the fuck up.
Like dunking on Trump and talking about Gaza and thanking God and whatever. It's like, go away.
Okay.
Get out of my face. Wrong.
Wow. I think we hold low opinions of the awards. I'm just going to say
very much.
As a group here.
Particularly actors, right? Writers actually do something. They actually create something. Directors, if you're any good, you've actually got some skill, right? And if it's a technical award, like writing music or something, again, you've got some skill, some ability. But actors, please, they're whores. They do nothing. They wear the clothes someone else tells them to wear. They stand on a spot someone tells them to stand on, and they read words that someone else wrote. What is that?
Acting.
Nothing.
Oh dear. Well, more news about KK. This brain, just massive big brain take. More, Star Wars needs to move away from the mainline stuff. So basically, this was quite an interesting situation. There was a very rare screening of the original Star Wars, which obviously George Lucas has never wanted out there. He's like, no, don't screen it. It's done. That's not my Star Wars anymore. Sure, whatever. So there was a rare screening of it in London. And she made some weird comments at the time. So she said this. I really think that now we're in a position where it's broadened the possibility of stories and filmmakers we can bring in to tell stories that mean something to them. It doesn't necessarily have to connect to every little thing that's been done in Star Wars. It can actually be a standalone story that then builds into many, many other stories. Now, that's it. It's just a quick small snippet. It's just a little tacked on story here. But I mean, this is just dumb. This is stupid. This is desperation for them realizing where they're at. But also, make no mistake, like nothing's going to change. This isn't them going like, "Oh yeah, we must change our tune." No, you're terrible. You're never going to change what you're doing. You're atrocious. And this won't save you either. Like, you guys are creatively bankrupt. You couldn't organize a shit in a toilet. Like, you're terrible. Do you know what I mean? Like, just absolute creative brainlets. Yeah, sure. No story had to connect all the time. Like, obviously not. Have you finally figured that out? Like, this is dumb. You're not like you're saying this as if it's like a revelation. Like you're standing upon high, preaching to the masses as if it's some kind of gift from God. Like you're an idiot. You're an imbecile. Shut up.
Well, how do you come up with an idea like this? Because shows that shouldn't be connected, and Mandalorian started out as one of those. Shows that shouldn't be connected usually are fairly successful until they connect them. I would say Mandalorian and Grogu film is going to tank like nobody's business. And that could be because of two reasons. One, because Star Wars is deader than Grandpa's dick. Or two, because, you were organizing shits and toilets a minute ago, so calm down. Or two, it's just that everybody's tired of watching something that they loved be just killed. I mean, that's essentially what happened to Star Wars and anything Kathleen Kennedy has touched. Beyond that, I mean, Andor, that wasn't without connection to the Skywalker era. It was leading into, the destruction of the Death Star, correct? And so all of these things are tangentially connected. They have to be, because the origin of them all is from the 1977 film that I saw as a very young child, Star Wars, before it got dumb named New Hope. And beyond all of that, I would just say, you can't have Star Wars without loose connections to the universe and the world that you understand. There's no way to get around it. Even that, and that includes even The Acolyte, which is probably the worst thing I've ever seen and been forced to watch in my life.
Yeah,
and that's saying a lot, because I had to watch.
I would say a little. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I cut out apparently.
Hello?
Either you or I did, so it's fine.
Oh,
don't worry about
right.
it.
I think maybe I've got a little bit of a lag as well. Anyway, I was just going to say, I sort of both. It should be at least tangentially connected in some way, maybe even a second or third degree, but it doesn't have to be, does it? I mean, I think the bottom line here is if the writing's good, if the story and characters are good, doesn't have to be connected, but that's the whole ball game. Because it's not, because the writing isn't good, the storytelling isn't good. Like you can have something completely unconnected to like Luke Skywalker and all the narrative that happens in episodes 4, 5, and 6, completely unconnected to any of that. If it was quality stuff, it shouldn't matter, right? It could stand on its own two legs, but they're never going to do that. As Nate says, that's not like, well, I bet my bottom dollar that that's not going to happen, because they're political partisans and they write crap that's trying to subvert Western civilization. That's what they're doing. They're not trying to write interesting characters with a cool story like episode 4, 5, and 6 was. The raison d'etre of episode 4, 5, and 6 was an amazing story filled with characters that you love or love to hate. They're not doing any of that anymore. They're not doing any of that. They're just like making out, just pretending that it's part of the same universe or whatever. I mean, it's just, the whole thing is dead. Yeah, they're saying it doesn't need to be connected to the original thing. Well, yeah, all the original fans people like Culture and Nick and me and Nate, normal blokes of a certain age that loved episode 4, 5, and 6, grew up with it. It's part of their psyche, part of their childhood. Yeah, we tuned out ages ago. So do what you want.
Can I give you an example of not connected things, though, Bo? Recently, my friend, there was a there was a relaunch of the Let's Get High Republic, and the show Acolyte was, I believe, based on the Let's Get High Republic storylines, but ultimately all roads lead to the original trilogy, which it did, because Giant Brainhead suddenly made an appearance in an era where he couldn't possibly be alive. And I forget that character's name. But regardless, it's just the Let's Get High Republic not only failed in book and comic book form, but it failed in one of the Disney streaming series. In fact, if anything, Disney's dive into streaming has been the most destructive force in lore of pretty much anything that it's touched. Just consider that for a moment. And the 2/3 of that is under Kathleen Kennedy's watch, by the way. So
it's interesting, isn't it? Though, I mean, there is nothing stopping them from, if they own the whole IP, right? So there's nothing stopping them from setting something thousands of years before the age of Luke Skywalker, or thousands of years ahead of that. There's nothing to stop them from doing that. They almost like sort of cut. It seems to me they almost can't help themselves to put in sort of member berries of saying, "Oh, look, and here's a reference to Boba Fett or something." You know, "Oh, look, here's a reference to the Ice Moon of Hoth or something." Like, even if it's just a tiny hint somewhere, that they can't help themselves. But they don't. You know. They don't need to do it. But as I said, my ultimate point here is that I don't care if they do or not anymore. I don't care if they do or not. The only way I'm ever going to watch anything Star Wars ever again is if I hear through the grapevine, through guys like you, or just on Twitter or whatever, that they've made something that's actually good. If I hear that and I'm not holding my breath, then maybe I'll watch something. But until then, no way. There's only so many times you can get burnt, right? There's only so many times you can return to a partner who cheats on you or beats you. No, at some point, you're like, no, enough is enough. That's the end. You're dead to me. I don't want to ever see or speak to you ever again. Thank you. Pass. Next thing. That's where I am with Star Wars.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. Let's get Nick's thoughts on these comments. Kathleen Kennedy saying Star Wars stories no longer need to connect to the originals. What do you reckon to this, Nick? What's your take on these comments?
Yeah, so I saw this, and I mean, in a way, she's not wrong.
Oh yeah, no, completely. But
but the fact that she's coming out and making these comments after Mark Hamill basically is saying he's done is kind of funny to me. And the thing is, Disney Star Wars is never going to measure up to the originals. George Lucas prequels didn't even measure up to the originals, in my opinion, anyways. I don't think it would be very hard for anybody to match the level of greatness that those films were, in my opinion. And I'm all for them going, far into the future or far into the past, but ultimately at the end of the day, it's Disney Star Wars, and Disney Star Wars is not real Star Wars, and Star Wars is dead. As culture would say.
Don't disagree.
Yeah.
Don't disagree.
Yeah. I literally don't even care anything about it. I still haven't even seen the last 3 episodes of Andor season 2. And I'll probably never watch them. Like, I don't care anything about it. I don't care what I'll go see the Mando Grogu movie just so we can review it for the channel and, stuff like that. But, and if, news pops up, we'll hit it. But there's so many other things I'd much rather talk about, which is ultimately why we rebranded the channel from Echo Base Network to just EBN.
Yeah. It's just complete apathy, isn't it, basically? That's
100%. Yeah, or as some of the people in YouTube space would say, black-pilled. I've been completely black-pilled, and I just hate everything just to hate it. you know.
That's it. You big meanie.
Yeah.
All right. Well, anyway, let's move on from this now. Got some super chats here.